Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for an informative and exciting Celebrity Cruises webinar. My name is Johanna de Guzman. I am the Manager of Industry Relations for North American Travel Trade Membership here at CLIA. And I'm just going to quickly go through some housekeeping before introducing our presenter. The webinar will run for about 40 to 45 minutes with time for questions at the end. Please feel free to type your questions into the questions module of the webinar, and we will get to them at the conclusion of the presentation. This webinar is being recorded and will be posted on CLIA's YouTube channel, CLIA Global. It is my pleasure to introduce our presenter, Susana Romero. Susana has been involved with celebrity brands since 1996. During her tenure, she has contributed in several capacities, including sales, marketing, product development, operations, new build, and new project launches, allowing her to have a unique and well-rounded expert point of view. Susana has been involved with the Celebrity Galapagos product since its inception in 2003 when Celebrity Expedition was introduced. In 2016, she successfully launched the Galapagos expansion project, adding 2 more vessels to the Celebrity's Galapagos portfolio. Most recently, Susana led and executed the launch efforts for Celebrity's new build for the Galapagos Islands, Celebrity Flora. Today, she leads global sales and communication for Celebrity's Galapagos portfolio, which includes Celebrity Flora, Celebrity Expedition, and Celebrity Exploration. Susana calls Miami, Florida home and works out of the Celebrity Cruises headquarters office located in beautiful Port Miami. And with that, take it away, Susana.
Wow, that's a long list of work for me. I'm tired already. Thank you, Joanna. That was really nice of you to share that information with our guests today. And I'm privileged to be here to share my passion and what I consider the most amazing place in the world. So again, thank you, and thank you for spending 45 minutes with me today. I do have an interesting point of view because I have been associated with this product for such a long time, and Galapagos has become part of my DNA. So I will do my best today to take you through a journey and to also show you how Celebrity delivers Galapagos. So let's move. It is truly a legendary journey, and this is an incredible journey that awaits your guests and you in the Galapagos Islands. And it's interesting today because we all hear a lot of the word eco travel and eco luxury. And what does it truly mean? And what does it mean especially for us? Well, it means something a little bit different. We truly do offer eco-luxurious journeys in the Galapagos, and we do it throughout our fleet. But what it actually means to us is what we do in this part of the world and how we do it. We are really in tune with what happens in these communities and what happens from an environmental standpoint. And we understand that it is a privilege to be able to sail in these incredible waters. So starting with our environmental stewardship and how we build our ships and the types of systems that we put in our ships to really be as good as we can possibly be for the environment. And that includes water treatment systems that are just unbelievable, fuel efficiency that reduces consumption. Think about the fact that we actually put this special paint on the hull of our ships so we can glide through the water. Less resistance means less fuel consumption. We have a state-of-the-art recycling system on board the vessels, and we actually have a zero garbage left in these islands. Everything that we produce from a garbage perspective, not only our vessels, but also our operational offices in the Galapagos Islands, gets separated and gets sent back to mainland for proper disposal. So nothing stays in these islands. We use water from air conditioning systems. We recycle the condensation water and we actually use it to do laundry on board. You will know we've talked about our dynamic positioning system that allows us to be in position without dropping anchor, zero single-use plastic, solar panels that subsidize our electricity. The list is endless and it speaks to how we feel about this very special place. But we also have a Galapagos fund. This is a fund where our guests get to contribute. And all of the money is earmarked for the benefit of the Galapagos Islands. From Escalesia reforestation trees, where our guests have now planted over 60,000 trees in the area, to community projects that include a hospitality school that prepares young people to work in the hospitality industry, to purchasing local jams that are produced by local women in Isabela, to corporate volunteering. We truly do care, and we do it a little bit different and very much focused on the communities that we visit. We honestly believe there's a difference between visiting and experiencing. And if you allow us, we are going to share with you an amazing video that speaks exactly to that concept. Roll video, please.
There are no other places like it on Earth. A place where the surrounding ocean is the undercurrent that creates a unique web of life.
The Galapagos Islands are unusually rich in wildlife, in large part because of the ocean.
Here, deep, cold, nutrient-rich water is forced to the surface, setting off a chain of events that give rise to a wealth of strange and wondrous animals. The Galapagos lie at the intersection of several major ocean currents, but it is one current that is especially important.
At the equator, a current within the ocean's depths flows eastward, striking the submerged base of the Galapagos Islands. This sets in motion the very essentials for the creation of life.
As the equatorial undercurrent strikes the base of the islands in the west, cold, nutrient-rich water flows to the surface and acts like fertilizer. Algae and phytoplankton bloom, producing the food that fuels the island's life.
The phytoplankton, or tiny drifting plants, are eaten by small drifting animals or zooplankton, which then feed a wealth of other creatures in the islands. Fish and squid eat the zooplankton and then are the prey for larger creatures.
Birds plunge and dive into the sea, where sea turtles and marine iguanas swim. Sea lions, penguins, sharks, and even whales come to feed.
When upwelling is the strongest, Galapagos is abundant with life. Animals reproduce. The young survive and juveniles grow strong. With strong upwelling in the west, marine iguanas grow large and dense in population. Penguins and flightless cormorants thrive, as does the underwater life. In the Galapagos, many of the animals are unique or endemic to the islands.
In the Galapagos, the ocean provides the fuel that sparks life. And here, it is rich, wild, and like no other place on Earth.
Isn't that amazing? I love that video. At the end, it is our intention to deliver the experience through the eyes of the experts, and experts they are. The Galapagos National Park certifies a specific number of guides, and all of our guides are certified by the Galapagos National Park. And we do it in very small groups. Our groups go ashore in groups of no more than 10 with one Galapagos National Certified Park Ranger. Our experiences on board range from advanced snorkeling to coastal exploration and kayaking to off-the-beach excursions to hiking. It is truly a very active experience and one that includes very in-depth exploration of this incredible part of the world. It is very active, and that is a great key point to always keep in mind when you're thinking about your guests and who is the right guest to be on these excursions. You're thinking of someone that is active. It has nothing to do with age, it has a lot to do with what it is that they want to do during their vacation. Once you get ashore, once our guests get ashore, the encounter is immediate. And the one question that I get asked all the time, it is usually, well, how close am I really going to get to these animals? And reality is you will get very, very close to these animals. In Galapagos, the animals have no fear of humans, and no one truly understands the why. Reality is, it happens. This is a part of the world where, when you arrive, the guests actually come and they welcome you. It's almost like if they were welcoming you into their environment and opening the doors for you. In this picture, you get to see how close you get. You're supposed to stay about 2 meters, 6 feet away from animals. And this is the type of interaction that you will have with the naturalists. The naturalists actually deliver the experience. They talk about what you're seeing, what you're experiencing, the why and the how. In the case of Santa Cruz and the Highlands, you begin to learn about these giant tortoises and why are they so important and why are they so different and distinct from island to island, and the actual correlation of their size, their feet, their shell, and the food source and the terrain that they live in. As you heard, as you saw in that video, these islands are volcanic. They came about as tectonic plates were moving in the area, and that collision created these islands. In creating that, you have those currents and that upwelling that happens when the currents actually hit the side of these islands, and it's just an abundance of food for the creation of life. I remember the first time that I visited this island. This happens to be Fernandina Island. Fernandina Island is a very volcanic island in geology. It is the youngest of the islands in the Galapagos Islands, and it has this incredible colony of marine iguanas that live in it. When I first arrived and I looked around, first thing I noticed was the lack of vegetation on the islands. Again, very volcanic islands, not unlike what you would see in a place like Hawaii. And I started to think, well, how do these animals survive? How do these iguanas survive? And Fabio, which is the name of the naturalist that you see in this picture, a dear friend and someone with a tremendous amount of knowledge of this island, said to me, well, Susana, interesting that you ask, because these are iguanas that have adapted to live in this ecosystem. They are the only diving iguanas in the world. These iguanas dive, go to the bottom of the sea, and they graze from the bottom of the sea. They have learned how to hold their breath while they're grazing and eat. So, very interesting behavior. And here they are. This is what they do. They actually dive for food, they hold their breath, they graze. When they come out of the water, again, they do take water in because they're eating, right? They have learned the behavior to expel the water by contracting their stomachs, and they expel the water through two little nostrils that they have on top of their head. So, all very interesting how you begin to see the correlation between terrain, the adaptation and the formation of distinct species of animals that have adapted to this ecosystem, and also the correlation between water temperatures, water currents, and their survival. We are entering officially an El Nino year in Galapagos, and El Nino tends to be not as good to the Galapagos as La Nina phenomenon because of the water temperatures. With the waters turning warmer, and again, this is a natural phenomenon that happens in this area. With warmer temperatures, some of the algae that's near the coast dies, and these animals need to swim out to sea to find food. Again, out to sea, more predators, more chances for accidents. So there is a very unique correlation between these phenomena and the population of iguanas in the Galapagos Islands. These are probably three of the best known marine birds in the world, and especially as we associate the Galapagos Islands with the boobies, right? The Nazca booby, the red-footed booby, and the blue-footed booby. All very visible, especially the blue and the Nazca boobies. The red boobies are a bit more elusive. They're usually perched on trees, but all quite regal and beautiful with very distinct behaviors, each of them that our guests get to learn about and experience up close and personal. The other question that I get asked all the time is, will I get to snorkel a lot? Is it really that rich? What will I get to see? And reality is the Galapagos Islands is very unique and is very different and very diverse. Every day, your guests will be in a different location twice a day, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and sometimes even a midday excursion, going back to how active this vacation can be. In this example, this is Gardner Bay. This is a pristine white beach with incredible sand. It almost looks like you are in the Caribbean. The next day, you can be in a red beach, which could be Rábida, and then you have beaches that have a greenish, gray tone. It all has to do not only with the geology of the area, but also with the coral composition and the type of fish in the area. So the opportunities for snorkeling are really countless, and we provide all of the equipment, including wetsuits, for every one of our guests to truly enjoy the experience. Some of the snorkeling opportunities are done from the beach. Some others are done when we're doing deep water, which is a more advanced type of snorkeling. We do it from our zodiacs, but all very well choreographed and coordinated to make sure that your guests get the best out of their experience. And what would they see underwater? Well, from the sea lions that come play and blow bubbles in your face to maybe a group of penguins that are just flying by underwater in front of our guests to uh, turtles and fish and yes, the occasional shark. It happens all around you and it happens in such a beautiful and organic way that it is truly hard to describe. It is an all-inclusive experience. It is a 10-night package. A 10-night package that includes a 2-night pre-stay in Quito, Ecuador, a 7-night cruise that starts in Baltra, Galapagos, and a 1-night post. Why do we do Quito? It's a great question that we get asked all the time. Actually has two very valid reasons. One, because we truly believe that Quito, as a capital city, as a World Heritage Site, deserves at least a 1-day visit. And that visit is all inclusive of tours, meals, your guides, your concierge service, and everything is done from an enrichment standpoint, including the food that we serve. We truly believe that when visiting a destination is not only about learning and seeing, but it's also about tasting the flavors of a culture. And just as important, especially in today's environment, with the amount of flight disruptions that we all see in our business, it is important that our guests have that 24-hour buffer to get in, to make sure that their flights get in on time and that their luggage gets in. Because once we leave in the morning of either a Saturday or a Sunday, depending on which ship your guests are on, it is pretty difficult to catch up with the ship once we leave that Baltra area. So we've been doing this since June of 2004, almost 20 years now. This program, this 10-night package is amazing. It's true. It has proven to be a perfect amount of time for our guests to truly enjoy the Galapagos Islands, plus a little bit of Quito, a taste, and a little bit of that taste at the end. When we come back, again, fully all inclusive. This is all meals, beverages, gratuities, onboard programming, snorkeling equipment, internet service, all entrance fees. Everything is included in the price of the cruise. On the return, our guests have a choice. They can either stay overnight and leave in the morning, or they can take a red eye out. Few of our guests take red eyes. It's a long day, but if they choose to do so, they certainly can. And we will arrange for a day room for them to rest while they wait for their flight, or they can continue. They can continue on our 16-night package. We talked a little bit about the 10-night, but they can continue on to the 16-night package, which we're going to talk about in a minute. What's included in the price not only is it the pre and the post stays, is also an exclusive flight nonstop from Quito into Baltra. And this is exclusive for our guests. No one else is on board that flight. It also has one of our concierge that flies with the group into Baltra, delivers the group to our naturalist in Galapagos, and picks up the returning group. So when we say fully escorted exclusive tours, we truly mean that. And then on our 16-night package, after the cruise, our guests come back to Quito and they connect that same day into Lima. We spend 2 nights pre-stay in Lima at the luxurious Westin Luxury Collection. We do then 2 nights in the Circuit Valley at the Tambo del Inca Luxury Collection Hotel, and we do 2 nights in Cusco at the Monasterio Hotel. We also include the Hiram Bingham train going into and returning from Machu Picchu. So fully escorted again, fully all-inclusive, a truly one-of-a-kind experience. So our guests fly into Quito, a little bit of geography as to where Quito is located. It's on the Pacific coast, about 3 hours and 40 minutes from Miami, Florida, where I live. I take the flights very, very frequently. There is 2 flights from Miami. There is also service from Houston. There is service from LA. So it is relatively easy to get to Quito, and it's not very far from the US. Some pictures of the beautiful Quito Colonial City, our airplane, which shows you that it is a real airplane, like I always say. I get asked that question all the time, and I'm going to be flying on a real airplane, and I know exactly what they mean when they ask that question. So yes, it is either an Airbus 319 or a 320 by Avianca, again, exclusive to our guest. So a little bit about our fleet. We have 3 vessels in Galapagos: Celebrity Expedition, Celebrity Exploration, and Celebrity Flora. We are the best in the industry when it comes to Galapagos, and our accolades prove it. This is just a little taste of the latest accolades that we have received. Anything from award of excellence from the development of national tourism to best public rooms to best cabins to best in Central and South America to responsible tourism to shore excursions, you name it. We have won every award. And now we have truly the crown jewel of accreditations, which is the first and only Forbes Travel Guide Four-Star resort in the country of Ecuador, not only Galapagos. We are the first luxury resort at sea to receive the official ratings from Forbes Travel Guide, who truly verifies luxury for over 65 years. We have executive trainers fleet-wide. We have to reach over 600 luxury standards, and Celebrity Flora is the only one to have this truly amazing certification. So when we say we're the best, we have the accolades to prove it. So a little bit about our ships. We have a 16-guest catamaran, which is intimate and exclusive and potentially private. It's authentic to Galapagos, and it's perfect for families and friends and mini charters. And the captain always says to me, make sure you send those sailors at heart, because this is truly to get very up close and personal with the sea. She's beautiful. She hosts 8 staterooms, 4 of them being suites with private balconies, fully appointed, what you would expect from a celebrity vessel, with amazing indoor and outdoor dining. With all of our cuisine, whether it's the 16-guest catamaran or our 100-guest ultra-luxury Celebrity Flora, all of it is fresh from scratch. All of our menus are designed by our Michelin star chef. Most of it is organic and sourced from the Galapagos, so it is truly a great culinary journey that brings in the flavors of the local culture in Galapagos. Celebrity Expedition, for those of you that may know me and may have been on any of my other webinars or have actually sold our product, and thank you for that in advance. Celebrity Expedition is the ship that started it all. She currently hosts 48 guests, but she can host 100. So think about the amount of space that we have on this vessel. She's iconic, she's award-winning, she's spacious, and she offers just really highly personalized service. And she fits that mid-size category in Galapagos, again, being very different, right? Mid-size is that 48 sweet spot, where 100 is considered the large ship category, as it is the maximum amount of guests per ship allowed in the area. Her open spaces are truly great. Again, indoor and outdoor dining, beautiful suites and staterooms, just absolutely amazing. And then truly the most incredible ship built for this destination. 100 guests, all suites, 50 suites, all with private balconies. Exclusive, truly eco-conscious and purposefully designed for this destination. Uh, she has a lot of glass. She has an incredible godmother. This is an ex-minister of the environment of Ecuador, someone that truly cares about this part of the world. And she is actually part of this ship's DNA. And if you allow us, we're going to show you a very short, amazing video about Celebrity Flora. Amazing vessel. She was built for the destination with the destination in mind. I don't know if you had a chance to feel that video, which, by the way, all of our videos are on the Celebrity Commitment for you to use, for you to share with your potential guests. But even the furniture of this vessel was designed with the destination in mind. The finishes, the textures, everything about it makes sense for this destination. And this happens to be one of my favorite spaces. This is a very small laboratory, and I mean small in the sense of intimate, where our guests get to spend time with our naturalists and learn about the true science of this area. And also a luxury overnight experience under the stars. It's Galapagos glamping. And we do this only on Flora, where our guests get the exclusive use of two cabanas. One serves as a um, lounging evening dining area where we serve a curated camp inspired dinner for our guests. And then the second one gets outfitted as their overnight quarters. So a true one of a kind experience in the Galapagos Islands. So in case you're wondering, as we're coming to the end of the presentation and we'll have a question session, we do have a great program right now for your guests with a 20% off all of our Galapagos vacations. And also included is round trip air from the US. So great deal. We also offer the best commissions in market. So this is a great deal for your guest, an amazing experience, and also a very good deal for you as our travel partners from a business perspective. We also have a strategic products team that caters directly to you as a travel agent to help you with any and all Galapagos questions, helps you close the deals, helps you with availability. Obviously, it is in all of our automated systems, but if you prefer to talk to someone, if you have any questions, we can certainly do that for you. This is our exclusive Galapagos customer service desk. You can reach him via email. You can reach him via telephone number. And if you don't have a chance to jot down these numbers, um, do not worry. We are going to be reaching out to you after this webinar in the next few days and sending out assets, sending you information, sending all of these numbers for you to have very handy. Also, if you want to proactively reach out to your Celebrity Cruises field sales manager, they are fully trained and in tune with this destination, and they have me on speed dial, so we can certainly help you with all of your needs. Having said that, I would love to answer any questions that you may have. So team?
Susana, thank you so much for a very fascinating and informative presentation thus far. Going back to the expeditions that you spoke about, I know that you mentioned that a lot of guests aboard asked about snorkeling. Could you speak about any safety measures that Celebrity Cruises have in place for Galapagos expeditions?
Sure, absolutely. Every one of our snorkeling opportunities are guided by our naturalists, and we also have zodiacs that are in place to assist in case someone wants to get out of the water or needs help. In addition to that, we do a safety briefing that has to do with snorkeling, and we make sure that we answer any one-on-one questions when our guests have questions about their ability to snorkel, the type of snorkeling that we'll be doing, whether it's deep water. And also, our experts go out and survey the areas that we're going to be snorkeling in to make sure, just check for currents, check for water and temperature. So we've been doing this for a long time, and we truly know how to gauge our guests and help them make the right decisions for what their level of expertise may be and when it's safe for them to go out in the water or not.
Perfect. Thank you so much. We're starting to get a couple more questions regarding this topic. Could you speak about any requirements or recommendations for passengers on board for these cruises or these excursions, such as physical fitness, age requirements, or any packing guidelines or recommendations that you could give your guests?
Happy to do so. We touched a little bit on age and activity levels, right? The truth is, our only requirement age-wise is our South America requirement with 12 months, but reality is 12 months. It's way too early to bring a child to Galapagos unless they want to bring that child with a nanny, and you get to sell them a second cabin or suite, and they'll be very happy because they'll leave their child on board with that nanny. But on a more serious note, I think 7 or 8 is probably the great age to bring children to this area of the world. At the other end of the spectrum, there isn't an age limit, but your guests do need to be able to get on and off zodiacs on their own, go up and down stairs, and be able to walk without the assistance of a wheelchair. This part of the world is not wheelchair compliant. The destination is not, and the ships are not either. It is expeditions are normally not very well equipped for this type of situation. So get to know your clients, get to know what their level of fitness is. Now, you don't have to be a marathon runner to go to the Galapagos Islands. You can certainly enjoy a combination of the shorter walks and do the snorkeling from the beach and do a lot of the coastal exploration and get a tremendous amount of enjoyment and enrichment. So there is something for everyone as long as they are able to go on walks and get on and off zodiacs on their own.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that. I know at the beginning of the presentation you spoke a little bit about the ecotourism concept and how Celebrity Cruises is specific to Galapagos has been more eco-focused. We do have a question here about if any of these ideas and concepts have been applied to any of the other Celebrity Cruises, cruise ships, and could you speak on that at all?
Absolutely. The truth is that as a company, the Royal Caribbean Group is very much in tune with what's happening from an environmental standpoint. We're fully aware of how important it is to keep this as our mantra. This is something that we do every single day. And I encourage you to go on our website. There is a whole section that is dedicated to our efforts worldwide when it comes to saving the oceans, what we do every day, what programs we have in place, how we have a safety and environmental officer on every one of our vessels, that it is fully dedicated to making sure that we not only meet but exceed all of the regulations in all of these areas. So the answer to your question is absolutely yes. We probably implemented a lot of all of these measures way before we did in Galapagos, because reality is we've only been in Galapagos for 19 years and we've been sailing for much longer than that. And we have had a lot of these processes in place throughout our fleet from a Royal Caribbean Group perspective for a very, very long time.
Thank you so much, Susana. Being an expert, I know I introduced you as having an expert point of view, and after listening to you speak about the Galapagos, it's very clear that that is the case. So a few of our attendees are asking, what would you recommend as the best time to go to visit this area?
I have a clear answer for that. And my answer is always, when can you go? This is truly a year round destination. And I have been privileged and blessed to be there pretty much on every month. Considering I've been doing this for 19 years, I've had the opportunity to experience what they consider their different seasons, which in reality, the main difference is the temperature of the water. Now, the islands are on the equator, so it is always warm. The difference is it warmer or cooler, right? If you look up what is the best time of year to go to Galapagos, you're going to see a lot of information about two seasons. Our North America winter, December, January, February, March, maybe beginning of April, is considered their summer, their warmer time. That warmer time relates directly to the temperature of the water and a bit of the temperature of the air. Temperatures at that time are much warmer. They can be in the high 80s, even 90. If you look at what happens in our summer, North America summer, you will find that June, July, August, and September happen to be their cooler temperatures for the water and also air temperature. I, as a Floridian, prefer to go when it's cooler because I live in air conditioning microclimates, right? As we all know, how we perceive hot and cold has a lot to do with where you live. If your clients are in Canada, I assure you that even the coolest day in the Galapagos Islands may be a full summer day for them. So I encourage you to get to know your clients. If your client's main reason for going to Galapagos is to be in the water and do as much snorkeling as possible, I would direct them more to the North America winter, that January, February, March, April timeframe, but always being very aware of what their opportunities are. If they happen to be teachers in North America, they may not be able to go during that time. So work with them, get to know them, get to know what they did during their last vacation. What is it that they truly like to do? And then kind of gear them towards that. But Galapagos is not about which itinerary you go to or which time of year. It's about being there, because what happens in Galapagos happens year round. A lot of the mating that happens in Galapagos is very opportunistic. Therefore, you're going to find babies and courtships and mating and raising of birds year round in this destination.
Thank you so much for sharing that piece of advice. I think I have to go visit at some point now. Another question we had here that I think would be helpful for our attendees to know is, could you speak a little bit more about the food options on board? I know you spoke about the Michelin star chefs. Could you just touch on that one more time?
Absolutely. As a brand, and as you know us, we pride ourselves on having the best cuisine at sea. And it's no different in the Galapagos Islands. While it is the offering of the food may be different because we are under the rules of the Galapagos National Park, meaning our provision must be from either Galapagos or from mainland Ecuador. There are many restrictions as to what we are allowed to bring into the islands, and rightfully so. It is done from an environmental standpoint, going back to that point of view, where the park is incredibly respectful of what is from these islands, and they don't allow us to bring things that don't belong there, especially if they have seeds or bones. So again, our provisioning is very fresh, it's from the islands, and we offer local menus and celebrity classics. So you'll be able to enjoy both. If you happen to have a dish that you really like from the celebrity menu, most likely you'll find it there. And then you have daily delicacies that come from the Galapagos Islands. So very well balanced, and it gives you an opportunity to do both. Um, the menus are crafted by the same chef that crafts our menus for the rest of our fleet. So you have the same attention to detail, fresh ingredients, fresh flavors from a local point of view and from a fleet point of view on all of our menus in Galapagos. Hope that helps.
No, that does. That helps a lot. I have seen a couple questions roll in here. I know that we've touched on them a little bit. Could you just speak on if there is a client on board that has food allergies or special dietary restrictions or would like a vegetarian meal? Could you speak about just the process or how long they would need to let you all know about those dietary needs before they get on board?
We're happy to take care of our guests that have dietary needs. The only one that we're not able to fully comply with is kosher, just because the islands don't allow us to bring prepackaged meals, again, for the same environmental reasons. So unfortunately, that is not something that we can fully do, but we can do vegan, vegetarian, low salt, low sugar, lactose intolerance type of meals. So we can certainly accommodate most dietary requirements. We ask that you let us know via that customer service desk that we have for Galapagos. And then once they get on board, they can speak to the maitre d'. The maitre d' will contact them, or they can go talk to them, and they'll go over menus for the next meal and every day, and they will put together a great menu, obviously within the provisionings that we have on board. But we do it every single day, and it works.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. One last question, just because I think it would be interesting to know from an expert here. Could you share your favorite experience that you've had in regards to food, the local menu, or the traditional fare that you all offer on Celebrity Cruises? What you remember as your favorite meal or favorite cuisine experience?
Oh my gosh. Don't get me going about food on board, because we're going to have to get another hour with this group. But there are several things in Ecuador that are truly special and different. The ceviche in Ecuador is very different than the ceviche from Peru, for example, which is very famous. So I really enjoy not only the fresh ceviche, but also the ceviche classes to learn how to make Ecuadorian ceviche. And I also love the langostino. Langostino looks like a small lobster, but it is not truly a lobster. And the actual crustaceous has all of these incredible colors. It's a very sweet type of shellfish, and I really, really enjoy having it every time I'm there. And I usually have it with either patacon or with fried sweet plantains, which are both very popular. They come, one is a ripe plantain and the other one is a more green plantain, and it is just absolutely delicious.
You make it sound like a Food Network channel review. It sounds delicious.
Oh,
I am seeing here the questions are still trickling in, but it looks like there are questions that have already been answered or that our one of our organizers is already answering them. Did you have any last thoughts to share, Susana? Did you have any last tips on how our attendees can possibly sell this to future clients or possible clients? Anything that you'd like to share with the group?
absolutely. These are my parting thoughts. Galapagos may not be for every one of the guests that are coming to you, but there is certainly a tremendous market out there. Think about your clients that love to do cruise tours, even celebrity cruise tours in Alaska. This is the right client for this. Think about your retreat guests, the guests that have been on any of our solstice class or our edge class and have enjoyed having that beautiful retreat experience. Well, Celebrity Flora is like a floating retreat. Every one of our rooms is like that. And now add the genuine experience that happens on land. This is truly the best merging of having a genuine Galapagos experience with an incredibly luxurious experience on board. Think about your river cruise guests, the guests that are doing safaris. This is a true safari when it comes to what you get and you see. So start thinking about those clients that you already have that you can call and say, have I got the next vacation for you? Take advantage of all the assets that we have via the Celebrity Commitment, videos, pre-recorded webinars, brochures, photography. We have a lot that you can use to help your guests make this decision. And very, very important, if you have any questions that you cannot answer for your guest, the Celebrity Galapagos desk can help you close the deal. So go sell, go sell. This is going to be, I promise you, the best experience your guests will ever have.
Thank you so much, Susana. Can you share the contact information or go back to the slide if there was one that had the contact information just so our attendees can see it one more time?
Happy to do that. Hang on one second. If I'm still sharing, here is the contact. And we are certainly going to get back to you with all of this information. But here it is, Galapagos Customer Service at celebrity.com. And then the dedicated desk is 866-973-8466. And I see you all taking pictures. Well, I don't see you, but I know you're doing it. So Galapagos Customer Service at celebrity.com. That's your main box. And then the 800 number, 866-973-8466. And then last but not least, very important, thecelebritycommitment.com. You can get a lot of information and assets in there to share with your guests.
Perfect. Thank you so much for today's presentation, and I hope that you all join us next time. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you.